The results of QRS are really convincing. I believe that we still have a thrilling reference for QRS, don't we, Mr. Dr. Krapf? That's right. I think we can connect to Professor Dr. Waldman, can't we? Welcome to the QRS studio, Mr. Professor Dr. Waldman. You're a long years advisor of the Russian space travel, founder of the Eurospace, and have accompanied the astronauts, well, here I have to say cosmonauts of the Mir space station. You are also involved in the current Mars project. What does QRS have to do with the Mars? Well, maybe not directly with the Mars, but with the health, which is assumed from the cosmonauts. Look, I have developed a telemetrical diagnosis procedure for the Russians with which you can control the circulation and the blood vascular system. It's based on near-infrared technique. With this procedure, different parameters of the heart circulation are measured. These values are, for example, the oxygen saturation in the blood or the vessel elasticity. In the case of the Russian cosmonauts, these data are then broadcasted to the Earth. In this way, the state of health of the cosmonauts is always supervised. And QRS? With help of this diagnostics procedure, we have now made the efficacy of QRS measurable and at the same time provable. In the case of the cosmonauts, the values have been measured and checked after the application of QRS. What was the result? The measurements show that already after a few minutes, an improvement of the vessel values, like the vessel elasticity and the oxygen saturation rate, was reached. Professor Baranov, the former leader in Baikonur, has immediately equipped himself, his family, and of course all cosmonauts with a QRS system. This knowledge from space can of course be transferred to earthly diseases. So, for example, the vessel elasticity is an identification number for the amount of the arteriosclerosis. The positive influence of the QRS applications is measurable with the near-infrared technique. QRS and Russian space travel, impressive. Again a hint why QRS achieves such great results in the application area of circulatory disturbances. Another thing is important. Scientific tests prove that without the positive influence of magnetic fields, living beings would fall ill or even die within the shortest time. That's exactly why QRS should be applied on every manned flight to Mars. So there is QRS in the Mars. The cosmonauts certainly don't take QRS with themselves on the journey without scientific proof, do they? We have convinced the Russian space research to use the patented QRS procedure. Thank you, Mr. Professor Dr. Waldman, for your really interesting contribution. Thank you, Mr. Jeffroy.